Hey everybody, welcome to our Stronger Marriage podcast holiday version, where my wife and I and my mom talk about how to navigate the holidays with your family and your extended family and your in-laws in a way that doesn't leave you totally wiped out and dreading next year's Christmas. We're going to get in a ton of questions today with my wife and I. Super impressed by some of the things my wife shared. You're going to love it. We got into how to deal with crazy aunts who wear very, very mean t-shirts, how to deal with people that attack your faith, how to start and carry on meaningful conversations, and how to be a good gift giver, and more. Hope you enjoy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How's your day?
It's been fine.
I feel like I haven't seen you all day.
I haven't seen you either.
We were in one meeting together, but it was pretty intense.
And quick.
You did good.
Thanks.
I was proud of you.
Thanks.
Should we pray? You
Yeah.
want to pray?
Yeah.
I feel
Me?
like we should pray. I can pray.
You.
You want to pray?
Go for it.
Can you pray? Oh, what a day.
Yeah. Go for it.
Last time we filmed this at the beginning of the day, and now we're filming at the end of the day.
You complained about it being at the beginning last time. Do you remember that?
Maybe like the middle of the day next time.
Okay.
Okay, let's pray.
Okay.
Father, thanks for all those who are listening. Lord, wherever they're at, we pray you would just be with them, watch over them. Thank you for the questions that have been sent in. Thank you for the humble hearts behind them, wanting to learn more, do better, follow you more closely. Father, we ask that both our countenance and our counsel and the words that we share would be helpful. We don't know the context of these questions, and we would not want to say anything that would be unhelpful. So Lord, help us to be careful, cautious, and wise in the counsel that we give. I pray we'd have fun, and that the conversation we have here would be edifying and pleasing to you and your sight, O Lord, our God, our rock and redeemer, and that would be strengthening and encouraging to those who are listening. We ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, so
right.
we got through like 4 or 5 questions last time.
Yeah,
We're
I
talking
think
about Christmas, holidays, family, in-laws. Woo, rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm opening up here the new questions. Haven't looked or read through them. Just like Christmas.
So fun.
Survey says, ready? First
Yeah,
one.
I'm ready.
I have an aunt.
Wait, don't read ahead.
Well, I have an aunt who wore a Smash the Patriarchy t-shirt to our family Christmas last year. How can I contend for God's design for marriage with people who openly mock it?
Oh, smash the patriarchy.
Smash the patriarchy. That sounds like a happy woman.
Oh, dear.
Honey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I was pretty much sure you were going to answer that one.
Okay. I
If I have a thought, I'll throw it out there.
I would wear like a
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Trump 2024.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
That's helpful.
I don't know. Should I tell everybody what I got the staff for
No, you
for
shouldn't.
Christmas?
Don't tell them.
By the time this is released, they won't know. Can
They
you guys
won't?
plug your ears?
I don't know.
Staff, plug your
What?
ears.
Yeah.
We got crew here.
Yeah.
So I bought all the guys on the staff
Yeah.
a shirt that says, on the bottom it says Trump 24, and the top it says, unburdened by things. Wait, unburdened by what has been.
Oh, mother. Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dear.
There's 19 guys who are going to really love me.
Yeah,
here at
I'm
Christmas
sure.
time. So
I'm
anyways, I think you just go t-shirt warfare on this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
know?
This is super helpful.
Long live the patriarchy. You have a shirt that says,
There's some great ones. I
yeah,
feel
you have
like,
a shirt that says,
Trinity has a
the
good one.
patriarchy-
Patriarchy worked for me.
patriarchy worked for me. Yeah. Yeah. We're not meaning to make light of this question, are we?
No, we're not.
We kind of are. That's a funny shirt. Smash the patriarchy. Very sad.
Yeah.
Let's just say this is an aunt. You know what? Love your aunt.
Well, the end of the question, the end of the thing is the question.
I'm not saying
How do
love
I?
your aunt. I'm saying you should love your aunt.
Right. Love your aunt.
How can I contend for God's design for marriage with people who openly mock it? Well, I think t-shirt warfare is a legitimate way to go. But if that's not your game, this might be sound corny, but like just live such a beautiful picture of God's design for marriage that no matter what her t-shirt says, she wished she had your marriage.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's no woman who's wearing a Smash the Patriarch t-shirt who's like probably very happy in her relationship.
Yeah.
And if there is a measure of peace in her marriage, it's only because her husband has acquiesced and laid down his sword and decided to like be a water boy.
Right.
Which is at the end of the day, I don't think what women want either.
Yeah.
So, how can you contend for God's design for marriage? Well, first and foremost, have an awesome marriage.
Yes.
And then just lovingly, graciously display that to the world. And you got to give these things time, because foolishness can sometimes look like wisdom in the short term. But what we know is that foolishness always bears bad fruit in the long term.
Yeah.
And so just live a life of wisdom and give it time. Stay prayerful. Don't go to war on things that don't necessarily matter. Laugh at her shirt. You know what I mean? Like if you choose to get offended at everything, she's already got your goat up.
Yeah.
It's like, laugh at it. That's funny. Hope it's working for you. Ha ha. How you doing? How's your year been? Love on her.
Yep.
Care for her.
Yep.
Be the most loving, gracious person she knows. If she was wearing that to take a stab at you, then don't take the bait. You know
That's
what I
good.
mean? Don't throw water on a grease fire. And so, a gentle answer turns away wrath. And Jesus says to pray for those who persecute us. And he was talking about people who are being stoned to death. If she's wearing a t-shirt at holidays, you can love her. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
I think
That's a great question.
I think that's a great response. I totally agree.
Unburdened by what has been. Number 5, my entire family leans toward leftist political views. Oh, man.
This sounds
We voted
good.
for Trump. How can we avoid World War III at our family gathering this year?
Oh, wow.
Well, I think start with a t-shirt. I don't know. Well,
Wear your Trump shirt.
What do
No.
you think?
Well, it feels a little similar to what you were just saying.
Yeah. So I've moved on the answer to this question, and so I'm just going to verbally process and like, hey, you know what? It's free, so you get what you pay for.
Okay.
It used to be that you could, I think, have differences in politics and still have a relationship. And
Totally.
it's like relationship over politics. Politics is short term, relationships are long term. All the buzz phrase, blah 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 blah. Now politics are more reflective of deep core ideologies, and so if you have someone that voted for Kamala, whatever it is, Kamala, then you know that you have wildly different ways you view the world. They think that murdering children is perfectly good and right if it infringes on your conveniences. We don't. They think that maiming children, chemically and surgically castrating children is a step towards mental health. We think it's insanity. They think the globalization of our nation is good. We think that nationalism is a better way for people to thrive, and just on it goes. And these aren't small tertiary things. And so, the way I explain it is, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 politics. So it used to be like tier 1 is like, tier 1 politics is like, who's going to pave the roads, which roads we're going to pave, those kind of things. And it's like, you should have an opinion, but my gosh, don't divide over that stuff. Who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? And tier 2 politics is a little more substantive, where it matters, but like, should we grant, Taiwan favored trading status? I don't know. We should think about it, and it's important, but I don't really know if I have a studied conviction on it, but someone should and exercise wisdom. And so, the first tier 1 politics are have an opinion and go with it. Tier 2 politics requires wisdom to navigate, or else foolishness could be exercised, and that's always detrimental. Tier 3 politics, I put in the moral category, and we don't debate, we submit.
Yeah.
We obey.
Yeah.
Thus saith the Lord. And I think, at least when I was younger, it felt like a larger percentage of politics fell into tier 1 and tier 2 categories. Today, it's like almost all of them are in tier 3 categories. Like God was very clear in relationship to what he spoke on these matters and these things. And so if that's where they're at, you're just going to have differences. I'm off the question here. How do I vote World War III family gathering this year? Yeah, I don't think you got to rub anything in people's face. I mean, we're
For sure.
we're gracious in victory politically. I mean, here's the thing: it's like they may hate Trump, but their life will be better under a Trump presidency because he's not making open war on citizens, an open war on censorship, an open war on free speech, an open war on religious freedom, an open war on religious liberty, an open war on the freedom to worship. An open war on our children, an open war on marriage, an open war on our youth and morality. And so it's like they're going to live in a better country. They're going to make more money. They're going to get more money back because they're going to pay less in taxes. I mean, everything about their life is going to get better.
Right.
And so you don't have to rub it in their face like, hey, like we get it. And then just don't be a jerk.
Yeah. Don't
You
be
know what I mean?
obnoxious.
Yeah, don't be obnoxious. And because at the end of the day, they don't need a political change. They need a heart change. And so if you try to talk politics with them, you're probably not going to get anywhere. But like, talk about their personal life. How's their relationships? How's their family? How's their kids? How's
Be genuinely
their health?
interested in the person and not in winning an argument. I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
That's
especially
probably
when
a
you're
better way to
sitting there
say it.
at the dinner table. It's like,
But I like winning arguments.
oh, well, I'm not saying, but
I'm kidding.
if they're coming,
What you said was better.
if they're coming and you know they disagree with you, but maybe they haven't even said anything, you're just anticipating it's going to be hostile or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, start it off on the foot you want to start it, with kindness and talking about other stuff. You don't have
Yeah.
to bring up. Now, if they bring it up and you're going to have a conversation, that's where it's like, be kind, be gracious, don't rub it in their face. But it's like,
Yeah.
work on a relationship if possible. And I know what you're saying. It feels like nowadays it's harder to do that. But we got to at least try. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's like if you have an aunt who's like, kids deserve the right to change their gender without their parents knowing. I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit across the table and have turkey dinner with you. Like, that's insane.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's like if you're like when I listen to the political dialogue in the 50s and 60s, I mean, there was obviously lots of hot topics going on,
Right.
Cold War and Cuban Missile Crisis and race stuff and all that. But my gosh, I listen today and I think, my goodness sakes alive. I mean, these are deeply moral issues, and there's a level of insanity on the progressive left right now that should not be offered quarter, should not be
True.
legitimized by a dialogue. It's like, no, this is insane. You should be laughed at, potentially even mocked and ignored, because you're hurting children, you're hurting families, you're representing, there's a demonic representation in the physical realm of what we know Satan is doing in the spiritual realm to divide families, hurt children, lie, deceive, entangle people in addictions and bondage. I mean,
Yeah. True.
like you think about the nature of feminism, oh boy, we are way out of the
Wait.
pop patch now. But like,
But it's all related.
yeah, the feminism is underneath almost every evil thing we're seeing happen today, right?
So true.
It's being driven, shockingly, by a lot of very, very evil women, and so, yeah, man. I mean, I'm like, I'm trying to think, what would Jesus say here? Biblical passage come to mind, but like, I'm reticent to tell a guy, yeah, just go in there and keep swinging and just suck it up and just keep walking into the buzzsaw. I don't think Jesus would have done that. I mean, Jesus is like, you're an idiot, repent.
Right.
I'm going to go talk to someone who's actually interested in
Right.
listening to me.
It gets a little more nuanced when it's your family.
I don't know, man. He came to divide father and mother and brother
True.
and sister, and it's like,
True.
so it doesn't mean you can't love them, extend grace, be gracious. And so the other thing I would say is, I said this thing in our last podcast, if they're claiming to be Christians, whoa, that's a different thing.
Yeah, different story.
If they're like rank pagan unbelievers, God haters, I'm a little more open, like, hey, let's go love on them.
Right.
They may be the only Jesus that they get to see, and we're going to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And so, but that's a tough one. I feel like we should move on. I think this has been unhelpful.
Oh,
If this has been helpful, comment in the comments. If it hasn't been, don't comment. Okay, let's go on to the
very
next question.
difficult.
There's got to
That's
be an
hard.
easier one here.
well, I don't know.
Well, that's why we prayed, and we'll pray that this person, Lord, gives them wisdom,
Yeah.
even if we didn't have any.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this podcast on Christmas, holidays, and dysfunctional families. A quick little plug here for a resource that Sharon and I are mentioning in this podcast called Fruitful Marriage. You can get it on Amazon or go to strongommannation.com. We'd love to get that to you. It's a resource that my wife and I wrote on how to essentially do a vision retreat, how we've done it for 20 years now, get away, what are agreements, how to build them, what that gives you, and then the oneness that it produces. If that would help you in your marriage, we'd love to get that to you. Amazon, Fruitful Marriage, Josh and Sharon McPherson, or strongommannation.com. Hope it helps. Number 6, how can people who grow up with family dysfunction and have poor memories of the holidays avoid projecting their past onto their current families? What do you think?
Avoid their past. Oh, man.
So I hear this person, they're not asking about how to survive the holidays with people that are challenging. They're saying, with my own family, I have bad memories associated with this. How do I not project that on their current family? I think one thought comes to mind is you do it the same way that you've done in every area and category of your life. We know that following Jesus is a process of becoming a new creation.
Right.
In every area of your life, sexually, relationally, emotionally, and we know the Lord can do a healing work instantaneously.
Yes.
And we also know the Lord works over time to undo the evil and replace it with His goodness and sweetness and kindness and wisdom. And so, what I would like, depending on the kind of bad memories they have and the kind of association things, is I would encourage this man or woman or couple, I would say, hey, get together and ask the Lord to give you a vision for what new family memories could be.
Yeah.
Because thanks be to God, your kids won't have your story.
Yep. That's right.
Because of what Jesus did in your life.
That's right.
This isn't really related, but I watched a clip last night. You know, the Farmers played their first basketball game.
Yes.
And Adam James, pastor with me at Grace City,
Yep.
he born and raised in Pateras.
Yep.
You know, first state B championship of the Pateras, his senior year in that gym.
Yes.
And then we started school 20 years later, and our Farmers' first varsity basketball team was in the Pateras gym.
Yeah, first game.
So Adam drives up, and his son Ben is helping coach the team. And they invited Adam to give the first locker room chaplain pep talk. And Ben videoed it and he sent it to me, greatest all-time locker room speech
Yes.
in the history of locker room speeches. I'm crying watching it. And one of the things he said was so cool. He said, because Adam was a total basketball stud, but he didn't know Jesus. He said,
That's right.
and our team is like, I mean, they've never played basketball before. And
Sure.
so you got this total stud talking to these newbies. And Adam said, you're going to get to do something tonight I never got to do. You're going to get to play basketball to the glory of God.
Yeah.
And he said it better than that. But the way he said it, I was like, oh my God, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah.
But I would tell his family, it's like, you're going to get to do something for your family and your kids that you never got to experience.
Yeah.
Do Christmas to the glory of God.
That's right.
And so sit your kids down. I mean, maybe write down a list of stuff. Here's what made holidays hard. You know what I mean? Okay.
And then how to redeem those
What's
things?
the opposit of that?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, well, everyone was always drunk. Okay, let's not be drunk. That's cool.
What should we do instead?
You know what I mean? And then what my dad always told us is like, you know, when you're trying to, you know, move out of bad habits or bad patterns, and I don't think this is like self-help therapy. I think there's biblical principle here. It's like the replacement principle.
Yep.
It's like Jesus doesn't say, I know sex is awesome, but I don't want you to have it, so don't look at porn and just have a miserable life. No, Jesus is like, I gave you sex as a gift, and I want you to enjoy it to its fullest. So don't be satisfied with lesser versions and perversions of it. Step into my intention and design, which is experiencing it between a man and woman in the covenant protection of marriage.
Yeah.
And so that's like the replacement principle.
Yeah.
So when I talk to young men about fighting temptation, it's not just like, don't have lustful thoughts, don't look at porn, don't think about naked girls. Oh, I'm thinking about naked girls. It's like, guys. Like, look to Jesus. Pursue Jesus. Set your mind on things above. Read the Bible. Pursue serving other people.
Yeah.
Look at who God's called you to be compared to who you are. Make a list and get after it.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're focusing on those things that you want to do and become, and you're caught up less and less by what you used to be and who you used to be.
Yep.
And so for this, it'd be like, man, sit down with your wife, with your husband, and ask God to give you a dream for what a redeemed Christmas could look like with your kids.
Yep.
And sit down with a wise couple and say, hey.
I was just going to say, sit down with somebody you know, observe. You're like, ooh, those people. I mean, that was my thought. It was like, if you don't even know where to start, some people might feel so like stuck in what they were in. It's like, is this even... Like, we don't even know what's the right thing to do.
Yeah, what even looks like.
We don't even know what a God-honoring Christmas looks like.
Yeah.
Like, I talked with a gal once, and she's like, should we celebrate Santa? Or can we do these things? Or can we do that? Is that okay? Like, but I don't even...
My
but
kids
some
think
things,
Santa's real. Is that okay? And they're like 9.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, let's talk about that. And, you know, she's like, does the Bible talk about that? And so it's just super good conversations. But, like, a husband or a wife, family could do that.
We
Like,
just had one guy tell us, like, a week ago, like, he's like, after church on Sunday, his family had been praying for him. He finally showed up after years and years, and Pastor Kyle was preaching, and he's like, I didn't realize Christmas was about Jesus.
oh, and he didn't realize the songs were about Jesus.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't know Christmas songs were about Jesus.
I just know
it's like,
Christmas
that's
songs are
awesome.
about, it's like,
so cool.
This is incredible.
Yeah, but there could be some real great help found by finding another couple, maybe in your church family or someone that you know loves Jesus and maybe has been walking with Jesus. You hear them talk about their holidays or traditions. Like, hey, can we ask you a couple questions? What traditions do you do that really help your family celebrate this incredible season of Christmas? We want to change some things. And like you said, I mean, the Lord makes new. He makes new desires. He makes new choices. I mean, he just renews your whole life. And so I wouldn't want people to be afraid that they're always going to fall back into old habits. Like you said, there's ways to build out of that. And you said the replacement, I mean, principle. Also, we talk about the worship principle. Like you worship your way out of temptation or difficulties. And it's like, what do we put the focus on? What are we worshiping? And so there's great hope for this couple, husband, person,
Yes,
whoever it
I
is.
agree.
It's like, oh yeah, there's a way to move through, you
Yeah.
know, from what you were.
Yeah, consecrate your holidays to the Lord.
Yeah.
Consecrate Christmas to the Lord. Ask him to give you a dream for what it could look like to have your Christmas be made new.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you
That's
will.
awesome.
It's good.
And it's incredible, man. I'm so proud of this couple. It's like they're gonna give their kids memories they never had. That's a part of like the kingdom coming,
Yes.
right? It's like generational curse broken,
Yes.
damage and dysfunction stopped, newness of life begun. It's like so incredible. So whoever this is, man, keep fighting, because the work you're doing is you're building the kingdom of God in your family. It's incredible.
Yep. It's good. It's good.
Next question. I am a terrible gift giver. How can I improve?
Oh, should I answer that one?
Take it away.
Did I send that one in?
Take it away, Sharon.
For everyone who's listening, I'm not awesome at gift giving.
No, you're an awesome gift giver.
I think I've had to grow in that.
You didn't start as an awesome gift
I did
giver.
not start as a good gift giver. Our first anniversary, I gave you a homemade sign that had a deer on it that said, "A hunter lives here with the deer of his life." And you looked at me and were like, "What do I do with this? What am I supposed to do with this?" That was my anniversary gift to you. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do.
I remember it.
I think it's still hanging in our garage. I mean, there's like that cheesy,
It was like this
cutout crafty sign.
And
I gave it to you for our anniversary.
I was like, I'm gonna get a holster, or I'm gonna get a knife. This is so awesome.
It was
I'm gonna get something tactical,
not epic.
or hunting. Yeah, and I was like, I got a crafting sign that says, "I live here with the deer of my life."
Yeah, you did, which I am. But I feel like I should start on this one because I really have more experience with this than you.
Yes.
Because you rock at gift giving, always have. It's what I've learned from you. So just take this compliment. Don't try and dumb it down.
I'm just sitting back.
This
is yours.
You have always been good at gift giving. Like
thank you, honey.
because, and here's why: because you think about it and you really consider the person and what they would love, which means you know someone well.
Yeah.
And it's not just for me. You do this for your friends and our children, exceptional at doing it. And it's because you take the time to get to know a person and consider the joy that it's going to bring them and what the response is going to be like.
Yeah.
And you get so excited just thinking about how they're going to respond.
Yeah.
It's an incredible act of unselfishness, which I think is what gift giving is. And so, because it takes work to give a good gift.
Yeah.
It takes forethought. You have to be considering the person. You have to know them. You have to want to have this great experience for them. I mean, there's just a lot that goes into good gift giving. And so, first of all, I'm so sorry. I feel you, whoever this is, because I've been there many, many times.
Hey, recognizing your shortcomings is the first step towards improvement.
Improvement?
So they're well on their way.
Yeah, and
Because you didn't.
Go ahead, share.
What made that gift you gave me funny was how excited you were. You were like, "What do you think?" I was like,
Literally, I'm
What
pretty
do I
sure
think?
it was
How
our
do I-
1 year anniversary.
"Yeah, it was." I'm like,
Or
"Well,
maybe your
I
birthday.
think we have a lot more years to get this right."
But you were really gracious. Terrible gift giving. Well, there's a couple reasons why. Let's look at why you are.
Okay.
Is it because you would rather get the gift yourself
Okay.
and you don't want to take the time to have to think about it? Is it because you overthink things? Sometimes that's me.
Okay.
I overthink, if they're going to like it or not, or, and then I can't pull the trigger, which is a personality thing that I have to work on.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yep, fair enough.
Are you a miser? Maybe not so generous. Like, do you not want to spend the money? What? You can point over here. Maybe you don't like to spend large amounts of finances or money, which is sometimes a good thing to be
You're
considering.
very thrifty.
Thrifty indeed.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's just lots of things to unearth a little bit. Like, why is gift giving hard for you?
Yeah.
Is it because it's a heart issue? Like you don't want to go through the work of thinking about this person that you love and then give them a gift? Or is it because you're afraid that, they're not going to like it, or that you're not going to get the right gift or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then you just shut down and don't do it. I mean, there's lots of reasons why gift givers have challenges.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I hadn't.
You wouldn't know that because
sounds
this
very
is
complicated.
This is not hard for you.
Man, it sounds terrible.
So, but how to encourage this person? I mean,
Well, I'll jump in here
Yeah,
and,
do.
and say something like, if the person you're giving the gift to is a jerk, that doesn't help.
right?
So
If their
like,
response
let's say,
is not
let's say
gracious,
this is a woman who's like, I've tried, but every time he like throws it down and says I'm dumb, it's like, well, your husband's dumb. So I don't want to play into like some like
Yes.
lame duck dude who sets this huge standard for himself. I mean, like, I know other guys that like they just spend money on themselves all year long. And then it's like, how motivated is your wife to go out and give you a gift when all you do is buy everything you want?
Yeah.
Like they never tell themselves no. Like I think one of the reasons
Interesting.
that you're so fun to get a gift for is you never get anything for yourself. You all your clothes are from Goodwill.
Okay.
You know, your watch never works half the time. You know, I mean, anything that's nice that you're wearing, it's
usually from
because
you.
I got it for you, which is fun.
Yes.
But it's like if you were out like just like swipe. I mean, and this could go both ways. I know husbands who are like, "How's it going today?" Well, I'm just trying to keep up with the credit card swiping. You know,
Right,
and
right.
dropping 5, 10,
Yeah.
15, $20,000 a month
Right.
in credit card stuff. And it's like just Amazon boxes all day long. And it's like, well, that person isn't super fun to go out and get a present for when all they do is lavish themselves with presents all year to the expense of, some husbands I've talked to, it's like, I just go out and work and then she goes out and spends it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not cool either.
Not cool.
And I know many husbands who are
Yep.
like, they never say no. They
their
see a pair of
toys.
binoculars, they get 2. They see a gun, they buy 3.
Right.
And it's like, that's no fun. So I think what has made you so fun to get gifts for is that you are a miser with yourself first and you don't ever get yourself new things. So no matter what I would get you, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So it's very, very fun to spoil you.
Right.
And then I think what made me fun to get gifts for is like, I'm not out just saying yes to everything either.
Right.
And it's like, so like where women are typically like, yeah, my son hunts or my husband hunts all the time, whatever. It's like, you were always like, hey, let him go hunting. Cause I wasn't never prioritizing that over you.
Right.
So
Right.
you felt loved, prioritized. Therefore you could get excited about me pursuing a hobby when I had time.
Yes.
And then I wasn't out just breaking the bank and coming home with a new shiny gift all the time. And so you'd ask me like what I wanted. I'd be like, well, it'd be fun to have that or 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 that. Like all my buddies
There were
have, but I
yeah.
don't need them. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever. And so you could call, my cousin.
Which
and
I started to do.
Yeah.
I started to get help
there's a
in
good idea.
gift giving.
Yeah.
I started to recruit a little help.
Yeah.
So I definitely asked your cousin, a couple times. Like,
Thank you, Eric.
Yep. And I think I asked Carrie early on. I've asked your brother.
Yep.
So it's like,
Yeah, I'd open a present. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, had a little help. And
Had
I'd be
some
like,
help.
text Eric, thanks, man.
there's nothing wrong with that.
But that told me like you cared enough to ask.
Right.
And so, because you might not know the tactical
Yep.
cool things
Nope,
or whatever.
I don't.
And I wouldn't mind. So I've asked the ladies like, hey, I want to get Sharon something like this. What do you, of course, Tara has great style.
Yep.
Laura knows you well.
Yep.
And some of those folks. And so
So,
Helen.
so sometimes like enlisting some help, it's okay. And I mean, there's also been times where I've been like, hey, I would love these pairs of shoes, or like I'll send you something.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong
Which
with
isn't
that.
my favorite. I like to
You
figure
like to
it out
surprise
myself.
me. That's because you are really good at gift giving. For somebody who doesn't know how sometimes to always give a good gift,
There you go.
ideas can be helpful from the person you want to buy for.
Fair enough.
And it's not cheating, and it is okay if they maybe kind of know potentially what you might give them because they don't really exactly know. Like
my
I
mom
think it's
does
okay.
that.
Your mom's awesome at
She'll
that.
be like, do you like that? And you'd be like, I love it. She'll okay, I'm getting it for you.
She does.
And then,
which
and then she'll buy it. And you'd be like, oh, thanks. And she's like, well, you're not going to see it for a while.
Yep. And then she's like,
And then she puts it
"See
away
you
and you don't
Christmas."
see it for 8 months.
It's
and then,
great.
And then we all forget. And you're like, oh, I remember. I was there when you got this. So
Yes.
that's how mom does it.
Yep.
A lot
And
of times.
I would consider her a great gift giver.
She's a great gift giver.
Yeah. So
After I ask questions a while, by the way, I think we're rambling. If you just tuned in, we're talking about how to be a better gift giver.
which is fun.
After a while, like your our sister-in-law Tara, your best friend Helen, our assistant Laura, they text me like, "Hey, Sharon would love these," or "Hey, we were out there and she said how much she loved these," and so
Right.
they know I want to give you good gifts, and they know
Yep.
I want to lavish on you as much as I can and
Yep.
spoil you, and so then they're helping me,
Right.
which is awesome. So
Right.
as a dude or a chick, if you're talking to the buddies, if they know that you love to give them gifts, then they can
Yep.
jump in and help, and you start getting all sorts of
Yep.
fun ideas throughout the year.
But I mean, I'm thinking back to like first married days. Like you just really paid attention to me, my likes and dislikes, and you were just really attentive.
Yeah.
Like, and we couldn't lavish each other for many, many years.
Right.
Okay. Like our little apartment dwelling. And I think we literally had 2 gifts for each other.
Yeah.
Like
I
our
was
first
probably
years.
borderline irresponsible.
Well, we're not going to talk about that.
With
There were some years
The amount
though,
of gifts I gave my wife.
some years.
Yeah.
Some years I made you take things back because it was ridiculous. But I'm just saying you knew me well. Like our second Christmas, you literally got me this set of pins because I loved them so much, and you had been listening to me talking about, card making or art or whatever. And
that.
you paid attention when we were at a store once, and I didn't realize it. And then you went back later and you got it. I mean, gift giving just requires thought.
Yeah.
And it really requires considering the person that you love.
Yeah.
And especially if the person that you're buying for loves gift giving,
Yes.
they will really appreciate and recognize that you
That's
have
good.
taken the time
Yes.
to go out of your way and maybe go out of your comfort zone. Because if we're talking about love languages, gift giving is not even on my radar,
Yeah.
which means I'm not awesome at it, but
Right.
it's high on your list.
Yes.
And so as a person, in a marriage, because I love you, I'm going to get better at that.
Do you enjoy receiving them?
Gifts? Well, anyone out there in the world does
Well, I know.
not rejoice.
I know, but
like,
it's
of
not like
course
a high
you
love
enjoy.
language. But I think you're right.
No, I do, but like,
It's a love language I love to love you with.
Yes.
But then I didn't realize how much I enjoyed getting it.
Oh, yeah.
Until you like stepped your game up, and I was like, "This is incredible."
this
I mean,
is
honestly, as you're
amazing.
talking, you're dropping a lot of wisdom here. It's like part of it is like you can be a I don't mean this to sound condemning, but okay, this might sound condemning. I was going to say, I'll say this and back up. You'd be a better gift giver if you paid more attention
To people.
to the person that you love.
Oh, I think
Now,
so.
that might sound kind of harsh, but like I loved giving you gifts because I was excited about learning about you and discovering what you loved. I mean, there's so much discovery happening early in a marriage and even on into 23 years now, where it's just like I asked God to give me an insatiable curiosity about my wife. And when that happens, man, you're paying attention and listening and so it's not like I get you the same thing every year.
Nope.
Because things can change in the season of life.
Which
and
you
things.
also know my personality, which likes different things.
Yep.
Like I am more, I like things to change up. And so you know that. So that's part of just getting to know the person.
Getting you things. This is a good gift giving tip too. You're not getting yourself a gift. You're giving them a gift. And so like I have gotten you things. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know why she wants this. This makes no sense to me, but it's what she wants.
Yes.
And so here we go. I find more joy in getting you things that I like too.
Okay.
But I mean, there's things you've given me where you're not like, I mean, it's not over the top, but you're like, I wouldn't want, this particular present, but I know he
Right.
does. And so I
Yes.
find joy in giving that to him. So,
Yes.
so it's not like I'm out like getting you like a concrete mixer.
No,
Honey,
true.
look, we got a concrete mixer.
Babe, I got you a treadmill.
Look at all the stuff we can do. So,
Got you a new
okay, I think we
nail
should
gun.
move on.
All right.
That was really good.
That was fun.
You're awesome gift giver, by the way. I love,
I have.
speaking of that, do you have my
grown-
Christmas present yet?
Well, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we talk about what we're giving our kids this year
That's all
for
I'll
Christmas?
ask. No.
Okay. Oh, we're going to keep that private. Okay.
Secret.
I am trying to grow as a discipler. What are some ways I can plant gospel seeds through conversations during the holidays? How can I start conversations like this?
That's awesome. Everybody should want to grow in that.
I would just say, I think good questions come out of genuine interest.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So just show genuine interest in who you're talking to. And the thing about,
If you're fake questioning, people know.
I feel like loaded questions don't go over very well with
No,
people.
I
And
agree.
so like my philosophy, and not that it's the best, but it's a philosophy, has always been, they're not going to know how much you know until they know how much you care kind of thing. And so
Well, you said that fast. Say it again.
Well, it's just kind of bumper sticker. They
Yeah,
don't,
but it's
they
true.
don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. I just made that up right now. So
No, you didn't.
profound. It's profound. I just do things like that in the late afternoon.
Yeah, you do.
Profound. And so for me, it's like I want to get behind their defenses. And so if I come in with like, so what's your thoughts on a Christological Trinitarian Godhead?
Right.
Like what? Or or hey, how's that atheistic worldview working out for you?
Yeah.
So, but if
Loaded
I
questions.
can get behind their defenses, and this sounds kind of mercenary, but and tactical, but it's genuine because I want them to be open. I'll ask questions about who they are, what they're doing, how things are going, what's hard right now. Kyle asked me a great question last week or a couple weeks ago that I've been using a lot is like, what's dominating your thoughts recently? Oftentimes that's what you're most worried about or most anxious about. And so just show genuine interest.
Yeah.
Because in a world of social media, screen, staring,
Yes.
self-centered, narcissistic, people, very few people show interest in others. And very few people care enough to ask more than like a surface intro question that somehow gets the conversation back to them.
Which is rampant at the holidays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how was your year? Mine was actually pretty interesting. Went to Cabo, went to such and such, and I crushed it in third quarter. Blah blah blah. What's that?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's your Brian Regan.
Yeah, Brian
Rah,
Regan.
rah, rah.
Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah,
And Zurich and
the me
Third
monster.
Back and me monster. Yeah. And a
You
plane
love
in
that. You love
Colorado.
that
Blah
one.
blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like ask a question. That's what I tell our kids. Ask a question, then ask a follow-up question based on the answer they gave you.
Because you listened.
And so you only have to be 2 or 3 questions in, and you're already further into their life than anyone else they know.
Yeah.
And so
Sad but true.
Yeah, giving people the gift of presence, listening, asking questions. I mean, I've often asked the Lord to give me, Lord, because you go in and when you're tired, you naturally slide into selfishness.
Sure.
I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I need something to drink.
Mm-hmm.
I need something to eat. I need to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be home by the fire in my pajamas, in my slippers.
Hypothetically
speaking. And so I go, Lord, give me the energy to be Christ-like, not Josh-like.
Yeah.
And part of it is, Lord, give me genuine interest in their life. And what you'll find is people are fascinating. People are so fascinating.
Agreed.
And there's so much complexity to every human being you're around because they're made in the image of God. And there's a lot going on in their life. And maybe they're quirky or broken, all this stuff. Yeah, love them anyways. Ask questions anyways. And it's like you ask questions and people are fascinating. People have hard things. You'd be shocked how much people would share with you if you just ask. People are like, when people are like, oh yeah, she's really hard. He's really hard to get to know. I'm like, challenge accepted. And I've just very rarely been around people. Now, some people are just like innately shallow and plastic and always trying to project an image. Like, okay, whatever.
Right.
But man, asking genuine questions, because here's what I found. The more, every question I ask, I'm like dialing my dope in, my windage and elevation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And 6, 7, 8 questions in, I know exactly what they need from Jesus.
Yeah.
And I know exactly who they need Jesus to be. And I know exactly the false idols they're looking to and the false saviors and the functional saviors they're hoping rescue them but never do. I know exactly their version of heaven they're hoping for that's never materialized and hell they're hoping to avoid they're currently living in. And when I can dial those things in with genuine interested questions in who they are as a child of God, I got all sorts of how should I say it, like vectors of attack to bring gospel truth into their life
and drop nuggets, like this person's saying, drop a little bit here and there.
Yeah, and then it's like unless they're on their deathbed, I never go for like the grand slam. It's like put a pebble in their shoe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then trust.
If I leave a conversation where they're like, I like that guy, I'd like to talk to him more, I'm making progress. If I try to close the deal and they close the door, it's over. And so ask the Lord to give you genuine interest in the people that are your family. Ask the Lord for questions to ask to unlock hardness of heart or just their life. And then ask the Lord to give you, vectors of fire.
Wisdom and discernment on where to go about, if
ask
possible.
the Lord to give you, Lord, help me see what their soul is longing for that you could fulfill, that they're currently looking to the world for. And man, when you can identify someone's hell and someone's heaven and the functional savior they're looking to save them from one and get them to the other that's not working, I know that Jesus will always be better than that thing. Whether it's money, sex, power, prestige, whatever it is. And so if I can find that, then I can just say, hey, you know how Jesus is better than that? And then you're not winning an argument, you're winning the man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to live to fight another day. You know what I mean? And if a relationship stays open, then we're still in the game.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
God, it's so good. And I've seen you do it a lot of times. It's been good.
Lord's very gracious and kind. What are your favorite holiday movies? Super easy.
Okay, easy. Favorite holiday movies include White Christmas.
White Christmas.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
They're like right to the top.
Yep.
Like immediately.
Like if you only keep 2, gotta have White Christmas.
Pretty much those 2.
Gotta have It's Wonderful Life.
We put Little Women in there. Like it's just like it's not like a Christmas movie, but it is.
A lot happens at Christmas.
A lot of Christmassy things.
We typically watch both the old and the new one.
Yes, we
same
do.
night.
We do. We watch
We love
back to
Holiday
back.
Inn.
We do.
Yep. Bing Crosby, Fred Astaire.
Good old fashioned
stuff.
awesomeness.
Yep.
We like what's that one?
The Ultimate Gift.
The Ultimate Gift and the Christmas Card.
The
We
Christmas
do like
card.
both of those.
Hallmark cheese at
Well,
its finest. But
you know.
so the Christmas card has Ed Asner.
Yes, it
who's
does. Who's
Super
amazing.
good. Mary Tyler Moore Show. Classic. Great acting. We've watched it every year for 20 years.
Yeah, we have like
It's
that
so
one.
good.
It's pretty sweet.
A
Our
lot of
kids like it
sentimentality
too.
there. What's that one with the fawns that we've been watching?
Oh, that one's funny too. Can't remember.
It's a
Also
Christmas
Hallmark-esque.
Yeah, it's a Christmas. I mean, it's the
It's
same
the most
plot.
wonderful time of the year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I'm pretty sure it's that one or
Yep.
something.
It's cheesy, but it's fun. It's got that great line. But Dad, he's strong and sturdy and stable. Yeah, he sounds like a bookshelf.
A bookcase.
A bookcase.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the line wrong. Bookcase.
Yeah, no. When you say cheesy, I mean, yes, but here's the cool thing. The ones that are kind of cheesy, they're not though,
fun.
because they're fun and they end with like the right answer.
Yeah.
The right thing.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna get married.
Yep.
She went for the right guy. Like
Yep.
she, and like there's like it's not cheesy.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
We just watched
good
Home Alone
storytelling.
1 and 2
We did for the first time.
for the first time in our
Oh,
life
dear.
with our kids.
Oh my!
And you laughed your head off.
I did.
And you can't deny it.
I can't deny
You-
it. I laughed way harder than I should have.
Yes, you laughed so hard.
Especially at number 2.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Anyway, I don't know if that'll be on the continual Christmas list, but I know that it's.
I don't think we'll ever watch it again.
Yeah,
but it was good to do once.
I'm glad I did.
Every year at our house, It's Wonderful Life, White Christmas, Holiday Inn. Those 3 are staples.
For sure.
Those are staples. Okay.
Yeah.
How should Christians respond to receiving terrible gifts?
Oh wow, lots
Random
of
question.
gift giving.
Yeah.
To receiving terrible gifts.
Yeah. With grace.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, you don't deserve anything. So
Oh,
thanks a
man.
bunch.
Terrible is like inappropriate.
Oh, I don't know.
Like this is not okay that I was given
Classic
this.
homeschool kid. I don't work in those categories. Yeah. I mean, I guess like
I mean,
if they give you inappropriate gifts, tell them to stop doing that, please.
yeah, this
If
would
they
not be
give you
appropriate for me. Thanks
mean
so
gifts,
much.
ask them why they did that or hurt your feelings. If they're giving you passive aggressive gifts, like a mother-in-law to a daughter-in-law, wishing she would decorate her house this way with these towels, tell your mom to knock it off.
Tell your husband to
And if
tell
they
your
just give
mom.
you cheesy gifts, like my great grandma used to give me socks and a can of peanuts every year, and I'm like, what the heck?
And you know what?
I have socks and I don't like peanuts. And I get them every year, and I'm like, man, I feel bad. I'm like, stop spending the money.
You too.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want you to spend $2.99.
But did you ever tell your grandma no?
Well, she was like 89.
I know, because it brought her great joy, and she was wanting to give you
There
peanuts
you go.
and socks.
Yes, I received it with grace.
Yeah.
There you go.
When people give you bad gifts, I mean, like, that's kind of a hard question. Like, what's a bad gift? Like, there's a lot of definitions of bad. And, I mean...
I don't know if anybody's listening anymore. These like their most random questions.
It is, but...
We're having fun.
But, boy, be gracious, and then...
Have I ever given you a bad gift?
A bad gift.
Yeah, and what did you do?
Okay, I gotta think for a minute. I mean, we know I gave you some bad ones.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, the deer of my life sign.
Yeah.
Have you ever given me a bad
Or
gift?
have you ever received a bad gift? I got socks and peanuts every
Oh,
year.
well, I mean, I have to admit, like, the family tradition of the homemade, which was the Carries, you know, the
was
Carries.
awesome.
Well, except for your sweet grandpa. I love him. May he rest in peace, Earl. I mean,
Hey, my grandpa put a lot of hard work into that present. And you better be grateful for it.
PVC pipe outdoor furniture set
Yeah, that sucked.
that he glued the wrong direction. So when you sat in it, it like folded you in half. It was
Honey,
unusable.
Why can't you just be grateful for what my grandpa did?
It was unusable.
Why do you always got to trash my family? I'm going all John Level right now.
I know you are.
Why do you got to be that way?
Yeah, stop channeling John.
That was for you, John.
It was, yeah.
Snarky
if you're
sarcasm.
listening, totally. If it was unusable. I mean, we laughed our full heads off,
Yeah.
all of us in the moment.
Context here for those listening, my family did a homemade gift.
Was a
Legendary tradition. You draw a name at the beginning of the year, all year long. Your ribbon. What'd you get? What are you gonna do?
You have
I'm
all year
behind.
to make something.
Inevitably, everyone forgets, put it off to the last minute, trying to my family knows every paint drying technique in the history of the in terms of trying to get projects done.
Yeah.
Well, my grandpa would always do these hilarious, like he did basket weaving one year.
And he didn't care who the gift was for. He would
Yes.
he would just do it because
He's
half
just
the
gonna-
time he'd forget
He's
who
gonna
he
make
drew.
what he's gonna make, and whoever gets it. So we'd go to the, you walk around and you surprise your person. So grandpa would always wait to the end because like I don't know
who I
sure
have.
who got this, but they're gonna love it. So that was always funny. He did do it all the time.
Yeah.
But he did like ships in a bottle one year. We're like, Grandpa, that's amazing. He did basket weaving one
epic.
year.
Like in his bathtub.
Yeah,
like
he
with
made like these horrifically ugly bald eagles out of 2x6s.
See? And then my year.
But it was so endearing.
It
And so
was.
the one year he did these these model wood cars. Those were like legit.
Yes,
So
I'm not
the year
saying
he
that
got
it wasn't.
you or me, I forget.
It was me.
You were fairly new into the family, and Grandpa would kind of be like, sometimes he'd get down like the road a ways and be like, I can't do this, and he would just pivot to like
Bail.
Plan B, and it was just always. So I think this might have been Plan B, but he did this this yard chair, double seater. It was very, very sweet.
Yes.
Josh and Sharon just got married. They'll love this.
Yeah.
2-seater with a thing in the middle to put your drinks or whatever. And he
Out of PVC pipe.
glued it out of PVC pipe, and you got to do it all at once. And he did it all at once, and then he left, and it like settled. And so all the angles on it were wrong. And he's like, something's wrong with this dumb thing. It is really uncomfortable. And you'd sit in it, you probably can see it, and you're like folded in half to sit in this stupid bench. And he's like, oh, I think it's great.
It'll be great.
We tried it. I cut that thing up. We threw it away, I
So
think.
that
But he's dead now. So
definition of not the best gift.
Yeah, but he was trying.
It was sweet. We laughed. I thanked him
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
With gratitude for all his hard work, because
Yep.
that was true.
Now, my grandpa, my family's awesome, and and
Yes.
he would be like, he'd make a big deal, and then off the side he'd be like, you can totally throw it
You
away.
can throw it away
It won't
later.
hurt my feelings at all.
Yes, true.
So if
That's
someone,
hard. Lots of grace.
here's a terrible gift, a gift that comes with strings attached.
Ooh,
How about that?
that would be the definition of a
Yeah.
terrible gift.
So if you wanted like a rifle and you got socks and peanuts, that's one version of a terrible gift. But if someone gives you something, expecting something in return, gosh, that really sucks. And that's happened to us through the years.
that maybe should be like some boundaries.
Yeah, that's a boundary thing. It's like, hey, I got that for you, or I did this for you.
Oh.
And you can just feel that. And so
man.
gifts that come with expectations, that's no bueno.
Yeah.
And you just got to nip that bud and go right at it with a conversation. Hey, thank you so much.
That's good.
But I'm afraid how much this cost you. I don't need this or necessarily want this. Would you, you got to be careful how you do that. But like, we've talked with families like a dysfunctional family member spends an inordinate amount of money that they may not even have. And then that comes with expectations for
All
time.
year long.
And it's like, whoa, not
Yeah, no,
cool.
that's not good.
So you don't want that. So you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
fun question. Okay,
Wow.
last question. Land a plane.
Okay.
What are your favorite holiday songs to sing together? Random.
Okay.
All of them.
Yeah.
Everyone is amazing. There's not a single. This is a better question.
Michael W. Smith is usually playing, like from
all
the
of them.
decades.
Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, all of them.
Yeah.
Andy Williams.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. All Amy Grant. Old school.
Old school.
There's no. We love Christmas. This is
Yeah.
an easier question. If you could kill one Christmas song,
Like it would never be around again.
never live again, never hear it again, what would it be? Because by and large, we like all of the Christmas songs from the Messiah all the way through. Mariah Carey, not my favorite. If I ever heard that, All I Want for Christmas Is You song again, I would live a happy life.
I'm pretty sure that was going to be yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they'd be. I mean, that one's up there. No offense, but that one's up there.
No offense to my Mexican friends,
To
but
Mariah.
Feliz
To
Navidad drives me crazy.
Well, of course it does. It's not your native language.
Well-
Hilarious.
Well, I like tacos, and that's not my native language food. I think Mexicans.
I think
tell
that is
back-
not related.
Okay. Well,
whatsoever.
yeah. Well.
I don't. That's too. I don't know. I don't know what that would be, except for maybe the donkey, the singing donkey, that one. From when we played Pictionary that
The
year.
singing
This is
donkey?
an inside conversation.
I don't know that song.
Yeah, it's
All I Want for Christmas Is You. Just like I need
Great
less
song, yeah.
Mariah Carey in my life.
yeah.
Like none.
That's great.
Feliz Navidad. I've heard it enough. I appreciate it for what it is, and I've had enough.
And you don't need to hear it. Okay.
Yeah. And then I used to be annoyed by the song Baby It's Cold Outside, but the longer you listen to it, it's kind of creepy. But
So not just annoyed. Now
but
it
not
creeps
like
you out.
hashtag Me Too weirdness, but like it is kind of like it is weird. You
It's
know what I mean?
odd.
And it was probably mildly appropriate for the era it was written, but it's just kind of like
This question took a dark
baby,
turn.
it's
This is
cold
funny.
out. What's in this drink? It's just like
Yeah.
yuck.
Agreed.
So that's not one of my. I don't like that one either.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like
I feel
that
like there's
sums
no
it
one
up.
I'm missing. Every time it comes on, I'm like, oh.
That's the only ones I can think of.
If I think of it, we'll come back and do another podcast on it.
Just on that.
There it is. Stronger Marriage Podcast.
Woo!
Yeah. In-laws and the holidays,
Christmas
feminism
edition.
and eggnog.
There you go.
Have a Merry Christmas.
That's right.
I know we're going to have one.
We are.
I love you.
I love you too.
Bye. We thought of it. Are we still videoing?
What?
Santa Baby. I
Also
hate
a dumb
that song.
Yes, you do.
Credit to Caleb.
Agreed.
Santa Baby.
No, you don't need to sing it.
Boo, boo,
We all
boo,
know.
boo. It just drives me nuts. Boo, boo, boo. It's just like, shut up. Okay.
Good call.
Good job.
Done.